morning and welcome to our service of worship. Thanks to rise for the opening of the Word. You shall be glad in every good thing which the Lord your God has given to you. The Lord upholds all who fall, and raises up all those who are bowed down. The eyes of all look expectantly to you, and you give them their food in due season. You open your hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. This morning we're reading from the Gospel of Matthew, and this is where the Lord had gathered together a crowd of people who was going to teach them. This is the first thing he started to teach them, so we know that means it's something important for us to learn. So we're going to listen to what it says, and I want you to listen and see if it makes sense to you the way the Lord says we should feel. Seeing the crowds, he went up into the mountain. When he sat down, his disciples came to him. He opened his mouth and he taught them, saying, "Happy are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of the heavens. Happy are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Happy are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Happy are they who hunger and thirst after justice, for they shall be satisfied. Happy are the merciful, for they shall have mercy. Happy are the clean in heart, for they shall see God. Happy are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. And happy are they who are persecuted for the sake of justice, for theirs is the kingdom of the heavens. And happy are you when they shall reproach you and persecute you, and say every wicked saying against you, telling lies for my sake. Leap for joy and rejoice, for your reward is much in the heavens. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you." So this part of the word is sometimes called the 10 lessons, or the 10 things that make us happy from the Lord. Now, did you listen to those? Do you remember what he said, any of the things he said which would make people happy? The poor people are happy. Does that make sense? That if you were poor, you'd be happy? Well, the Lord says it's true, so it must be true somehow. But it does seem a little strange. Remember some of the other things he said about who was going to be happy? Who did he say should be happy? The poor should be happy? Remember any of the other ones? He said the hungry should be happy. The sad should be happy. Some of these things are maybe a little surprising. He says this should make you happy, or you should be happy when you are poor, or when you are hungry, or when you are meek. And if you listen a little bit more, you heard, why did he say you should be happy when you are sad? Why he said you should be happy? Is it fun to be sad? No. So why should you be happy if you are mourning or sad? So the Lord says, he says, happy are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. What does it mean to be comforted? If you're sad, someone comforts you, what does that mean? They make you feel better. And what about the hungry? It says you should be happy if you are hungry and thirsty because, why? The Lord is going to feed you or fill you up. So a lot of these things he says should make you happy are things that you would think, well, that would make me sad if I'm hungry or if I'm poor. The Lord says, don't worry, be happy because the Lord is going to fix that problem. Who here likes food? Do you like to eat food? Is that fun to eat food? That's fun, right? It's good to be filled up with food. What if you never got hungry? You'd never want to eat any food. That would be sad. So the Lord is actually saying you can be happy because you get hungry. You can even think about that with food. Just regular food, it makes you happy to eat. And if you never got hungry, you never get to eat. The Lord is saying the same thing happens for us when we are hungry for spiritual food. It says, when you're hungry and thirsty for righteousness, which means the things the Lord tells us, the truths the Lord tells us, and the good that the Lord wants to feed us, it says we should be happy if we're hungry for that. If we want those things, the Lord is going to give them to us, and then we'll be happy when we have them. And the same is true for all the other things. And the Lord says you can be happy if you're poor. What is he saying? He's saying it's good to be poor. Why should we be happy if we're going to be poor? What do you think? Why should we be happy if we're going to be poor? The Lord is going to help us. He says, happy the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of the heavens. Do you think heaven is rich or poor? Heaven is rich or poor? Rich. He's saying if you're poor in your spirit's going to go to heaven, and in heaven, do you think there are a lot of poor people in heaven? A lot of rich people in heaven. What do you think, Haley? No, they're all rich in heaven. Everyone has everything that they can need. So the Lord is telling us there's things that we might think would be hard or not fun, but actually the Lord has got a secret plan. He's going to give us all the good things you could possibly want. This story about blessings or what should make people happy is a reminder for us that when we go through our life, some things will happen to us which seem sad, but it actually could be part of the Lord's plan to bring us to heaven and to make us happy in heaven. So you can imagine, what if somebody does something mean to you? They say something that hurts your feelings. You might think that would make me feel sad. The Lord is saying you can be happy when you're persecuted. You can be happy when bad things happen to you. Why? Why would that ever be a good thing if someone says a mean thing that hurts your feelings? Do you think how you can make that into something good? The Lord can help you fix that problem. How would you fix that problem? What do you think you do? You can talk to the person, and then you can help them learn how to become a better friend. Is that a good thing to help someone become a better friend? Yeah. And maybe to remind you how to become a better friend. So you can say something bad happened to you. Someone said a mean thing and it hurt my feelings. But then you can think, well, maybe this is actually an opportunity for blessing. We're to be happy when the Lord shows me how to help another person become a good friend and how to remind myself to be a good friend. The Lord says that any bad thing that happens to you, you can find something in it to be a lesson or a help to do a good thing. Any bad thing that happens, there's a chance or an opportunity for you to make something good happen come from it. The Lord says that there's no bad thing that's going to happen to you ever in your life that the Lord can't help you make something good come out of it. It's an amazing thing to think about. Anytime you're feeling sad or something sad has happened to you, the Lord says He can help make something good happen to it. Now, the important part about that, though, is the Lord says you should be happy. He doesn't say if something bad happens to you, you should be angry and mean until the Lord does something good for you. That's not what He says. He says we should be happy should look for that thing, that good thing the Lord wants us to do. So that when bad things or sad things are happening to us, the Lord says we can be happy and we can look for the thing the Lord wants us to do to make that good thing or happy thing come next. So it's really good to know the Lord won't ever let something bad happen to us unless something good can come next. But we might have to be the one to make that happen. Because again, if someone says a mean thing to hurt you, and you say a mean thing back, did you make a good thing happen from that? No, it was a chance for you to do a good thing, but you didn't take that chance. And the Lord says, one of the other things he says, happy are the peacemakers. Happy are the peacemakers, for they should be called the sons of God. So if we're going to be the ones who make the good thing happen, that's like being the peacemaker. If something sad or bad happens, we can be the ones to make the good thing that comes next. The Lord says there's always going to be a chance for a good thing to come next, and it might be up to us to make that choice to make the good thing happen. So the Lord wants us to know that no matter what happens, we can be happy and look for something good to do. And that will make us like the children of God, or like the angels. And that's what the Lord wants for us, is to be like the angels. And when anything sad happens, what do the angels do? What do you think they do? Help. So that's what the angels are like, and that's what the Lord wants to be like. Is that when anytime anything sad or bad happens, he wants us to be the ones to help and make something good happen next. Amen. Please rise. The Lord give his angels a charge concerning you to protect you in all your ways. Amen. Deuteronomy chapter 26. And this is a recounting of the journey from Egypt to the Promised Land and a perspective on how they should feel and think about the fact that they're now in the Lord's Promised Land. And it shall be when thou art come into the land which Yahweh thy God gives to thee for an inheritance, and possess it, and dwellest in it, that thou shalt take of the first of all the fruit of the ground, which thou shalt bring on thy land, that Yahweh thy God gives thee, and shalt put it in a bushel, and shalt go to the place which Yahweh thy God shall choose to inhabit his name there. And thou shalt come to the priest that shall be in those days, and say to him, I tell this day to Yahweh thy God that I am come to the land which Yahweh promised to our fathers for to give us. The priest shall take the bushel out of thy hand and place it before the altar of Yahweh thy God. And thou shalt answer and say before Yahweh thy God, a perishing Syrian was my father, and he went down to Egypt and journeyed there with a few mortals, and there became a great nation, numerous and many. And the Egyptians did evil to us, and afflicted us, and put upon us hard service. And we cried to Yahweh, God of our fathers. And Yahweh heard our voice, and saw our affliction, and our labor, and our subjugation. And Yahweh brought us out from Egypt with a firm hand, and with an outstretched arm, and with great fear, and with signs, and with miracles. And he has brought us into this place, and has given us this land, even a land that flows with milk and honey. And now, behold, I have brought the first of the fruits of the ground which thou, O Yahweh, hast given me. And thou shalt place it before Yahweh thy God, and bow down before Yahweh thy God. And thou shalt be glad in every good thing which Yahweh thy God has given to thee. And reading from the Heavenly Doctrine, the Arcana Celestia, we read from number 4981, and the blessings of Yahweh. This signifies increasing. This is evident from the signification of blessing of Yahweh. And the blessing of the Yahweh, in the genuine sense, signifies love to the Lord and charity toward the neighbor. For they who are gifted with these are called the blessed of Yahweh, being then gifted with heaven and eternal salvation. From this, the blessing of Yahweh in the external sense, or in the sense which relates to the state of man in the world, is to be content in God. And from this, to be content with the state of honor and wealth in which one is, whether it be among the honored and rich, or among the less honored and poor. For he who is content in God regards honors and riches as means for uses. And when he thinks of them, and the same kind of eternal life, he regards the honor and riches as of no importance, and eternal life as essential. Because the blessing of Yahweh, or of the Lord, in the genuine sense, involves these things. Blessing also contains numberless things within it, and from this signifies various things which follow from this, as being rich in spiritual and celestial goods. Reading further from the Arcana, he urged them exceedingly. This signifies the state of temptation, which one overcomes. This cannot be seen except by those who have been in temptations. Temptations are attended with doubt in regard to the Lord's presence and mercy, and in regard to salvation. Evil spirits, who are then with the man and induce temptation, strongly inspire negation. But the good spirits and angels from the Lord in every possible way dispel this state of doubt, and keep the man in a state of hope, and at last confirm him in what is affirmative. The result that the man who is in temptation hangs between what is negative and what is affirmative, and one who yields in temptation remains in the state of doubt and falls into what is negative. But one who overcomes is indeed in doubt, but still, if he suffers himself to be cheered by hope, he stands fast in what is affirmative. And during this conflict, the man seems to urge the Lord, especially by prayers, to be present, to have mercy, and to give aid, and to deliver from damnation. Amen. And the readings from the Word. Blessed are those who hear the Word of God and keep it. my sight. O Lord, my rock, my redeemer. Please be seated. Thou shalt be glad in every good thing which Yahweh thy God has given to thee. When we go through this life, we face a lot of ups and downs. We don't get to choose what happens to us. We can choose how to respond to those things that do happen. Now, it might seem natural or human to simply respond to the events in our life however we feel. But in fact, that is acting from our animal or merely natural character. Being truly human means exercising our freedom to respond to any situation the way the Lord would want us to. But how does the Lord want us to respond? We know there are rules about what we can and cannot do, but does the Lord tell us how we should feel? Well, we know the Lord wants us to be happy. That's why He created us. He wanted to create us so He could make us blessed or happy. We read in the true Christian religion, the essence of God's love consists of three things. Namely, to love others outside of himself, to desire to be one with them, and from himself, to render them blessed. So the Lord's goal for us is to make us happy, to bring us to heaven where we can be eternally happy. And the Lord's promise to us is that He only allows evils that can ultimately lead to good. That good is the salvation or bringing people away from hell and towards heaven. Now, we're also told that angels and good people who have confidence in this truth keep a cheerful attitude. With those who trust the divine, unruffled is their spirit, whether they obtain the objects of their desire or not. They do not grieve over the loss of them, being content with their lot. If they become rich, they do not set their heart on riches. If they're raised to honors, they do not regard themselves as more worthy than others. If they become poor, they are not made sad. And if their circumstances are mean, they are not dejected. They know that for those who trust in the divine, all things advance towards a happy state to eternity. And whatever befalls them in time is still leading to this. This might be kind of obvious, but if we trust in the Lord, we can continually keep a positive outlook. Our state of mind, or how we feel about life, could be a reflection of our external problems and the challenges that face us, or it could be a reflection of our trust in the Lord. Now, the Lord doesn't expect that we will always be perfectly peaceful and cheerful. He knows that we will face difficulties. And in fact, our human nature from birth is divided between good and evil. And the separation of that evil from the good doesn't happen without some degree of discomfort and anxiety. But even in that, the Lord wants to set it up so that that transformation, that removal of the evil and turning into a completely new creature in His sight is as easy and painless as possible. The Lord says, "These things I have spoken to you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have affliction, but have confidence, I have overcome the world." This is such a beautiful and human message from the Lord. He knows what we're going through, but He can take care of us anyway. Now, why is it so hard then to keep a positive outlook, to be cheerful in the face of adversity? Well, part of the reason that this is the case is part of our heart is inclined to evil. It is drawn to negative and destructive feelings. For example, being angry or revengeful can feel good. It makes us feel superior to other people. It feeds our selfish loves. We can recognize this. When we feel a jolt of anger at someone, we wouldn't necessarily say it's a good feeling or a fun feeling, but it does feel right to be angry. When someone or something gets in our way, it feels right. And it would feel wrong to try and just get rid of that anger. Now, some negativity doesn't seem to have any appeal that would make us feel, that appeal to our program or love of self, something like misery or anxiety. But the fact is there still can be a kind of a perverse enjoyment in being in a bad mood. And this partly comes from the fact that the evil spirits, they love negativity. They want to tear us down. And so they share some of their joy in our downfall with us in that state of misery. So they're trying to turn us to evil. And so when we're in a bad mood, we can feel a certain kind of satisfaction in that negative energy. Also, it might feel in that when we focus on the negativity, it gives us some control over our life, and it's hard. But if you do this much, you'll discover that the more you focus on something negative, the more it leads to sadness, depression, and anxiety rather than solutions. It's easy to see why the evil spirits want us to do this, to focus in on being negative and miserable in a difficult situation. They want us to stay miserable. Again, when we're feeling miserable, like the world is against us, it's not a pleasant feeling, but it does feel right to mope and complain. Letting go of distress and positively looking for solutions, like eliminating evils from our life, doing something useful, that leads to happiness. But when we're caught up in that negativity, for some reason, it doesn't seem right to try and change and look for a positive direction. It seems right to stay in that. And that's because the evil in us is drawn towards hell, is drawn towards things that are negative. And hell doesn't want us to change that. Hell doesn't want us to think it's even possible to change how we feel. We know we can change our thoughts, but it doesn't seem possible like we can change our loves or emotions, and so change our attitude or how we respond to something difficult. Hell will lose its delight if we leave evil and negativity, so they do whatever they can to keep us in that state. As a common tactic of hell, to get us to do something bad, destructive, evil, maybe from anger or jealousy, but then to be depressed and wallow in self-pity of how evil we are, instead of actively trying to make amends for what we've done wrong and beginning fresh. So what does the Lord expect us to do in this situation? He says, if man believed, this is really true, that all good is from the Lord and all evil is from hell, he would not make the good in him a matter of merit, nor would evil be imputed to him, being stick to him. For he would then look to the Lord and all the good that he thinks and does, and all the evil that flows in from hell would be cast down to hell from where it came. So we can look to the Lord and reject the evil. But why is it so important to try to be positive and look for the good? The first thing is the Lord tells us we should rejoice. In Psalm 64 it says, the just, or the good, shall be glad in Yahweh. They shall have confidence in him, and all the upright of heart shall glory. The Lord wants us to be happy, and he tells us that we should rejoice. Now maybe we might especially feel like rejoicing when good things are happening, but interestingly, the Lord has set throughout the year and in every week a time for rejoicing and praise. There's a Sabbath or a Sunday every week where part of the purpose is to come and praise the Lord, rejoice in the Lord. This doesn't sound like you're only supposed to be happy when the mood strikes us. We can proactively decide we're going to rejoice, we're going to praise the Lord. So in that we can look for the opportunities to recognize the hidden blessings and find our way to a positive outlook no matter what our circumstances are. We read in the Psalms, purge me with hyssop and I shall be clean, wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, and the bones you have broken may rejoice. Being purged and broken by the Lord doesn't sound fun, but it's an opportunity for rejoicing because it means the Lord is cleaning out the destructive evils and making our life less miserable. The Lord says he's going to create a new heart in us. And if we're longing for that heart of stone and feel sad when we lose that heart of stone, yes, we'll be miserable. But if we rejoice when the Lord takes away evil loves, that's an opportunity for rejoicing. And again, we read in the Psalms, let the just one pound down on me. It is a mercy. Let him reprove me. It is the oil of the head. Let not my head be discouraged, for my prayer is still in the midst of these evils. Now, it's not usually fun to have people correct us. Again, it can be an opportunity to be joyful if someone provides a new perspective that helps us identify and remove evils. The Lord promises that every experience, positive or negative, can be an opportunity to come closer to heaven. We also read, the heavenly conjugal love, or marriage love, exists when a man together with his wife, whom he loves most tenderly, and with his children, lives content in the Lord. From this he has in this world an inward pleasantness, and the other life heavenly joy. This is saying that the attitude of being content in the Lord, content with our lot, leads to heavenly joy. And that's a choice. It's a choice to have that outlook. So, it's not just smart for ourselves to have a positive outlook. There are reasons where we should feel an obligation to be positive, because we're part of a community. In the reading from Deuteronomy, the Lord reminded them of the hardship they had in Egypt and how they were delivered through that. And they could also be thinking back to all their journey in the wilderness, the difficulty they faced there. And if one person became discouraged and they shared that with other people, as actually regularly did happen, it led to more people turning away from the Lord, feeling miserable, and not trusting. We all know the quote about letting our light shine before men. It says that they may see our good works and glorify our Father in heaven. We know that doing good is an important witness of the Lord's goodness. When we do something right, other people can be inspired by that. And the same is true if we're negative, people can be drawn down by that. But how much more powerful and positive a witness can be if we turn difficult or hard situations into something good. If we're the one to look at a situation and find the good in it and do the right thing no matter how difficult it may be. Now this is something of an external example, but the true Christian religion gives a great example about paying taxes. It says those to whom their country and their church or the neighbor pay their taxes willingly and cheerfully. They regard it as iniquitous to deceive or defraud. Now, paying taxes might not seem like fun, but if our outlook is about serving others, then we can find joy in it. We can think about the good that money can go towards. And the same is true of any difficult or unpleasant tax situation. As parents, you're going to change a lot of dirty diapers, clean up a lot of throw up. Doesn't seem like fun or an opportunity for rejoicing, but if you think about that love that you have for your children and your spouse, it can be an opportunity for being positive, if not exactly cheerful. So the Lord is giving us opportunities, the good and the bad are opportunities for us to grow and come closer to Him. We go through life, we're going to face many challenges. The goal of being cheerful or having a positive outlook, it's not always easy. That doesn't mean also that we shouldn't seek help and comfort from other people when we're in trouble. Sometimes it'll be our job to provide a positive perspective for a friend. Another time, it'll be an opportunity to receive that support ourselves. The important point is that we do have a choice about our feelings. We can't directly change our loves, but we can change our actions, and we can change our outward attitude. And if we change those, the Lord can change our loves and feelings. We are on a journey with ups and downs, but if we are willing to trust the Lord on where He is leading us, we don't need to be anxious. We don't need to be negative. We can always find a positive outlook. We read, if man's affection is evil, he is conveyed through hellish societies. And if he does not look to the Lord, he is carried into those societies more interiorly and deeply. And yet the Lord leads him. as if by the hand, permitting and withholding, as far as man is willing to follow in freedom. If a man looks to the Lord, he is led forth from those societies gradually, according to the order and connection which they stand, and which order and connection no one knows but the Lord only. And thus he is brought by continual steps out of hell and up towards heaven and into heaven. We read from the Psalms, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the peoples. Sing to him, sing psalms to him, talk of all his wondrous works, glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those rejoice who seek the Lord. Seek the Lord and his strength." Amen. Please rise. Glory be to the Lord Jesus Christ, the one God of heaven and earth. Of his kingdom there shall be no end. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen.